by the way, this behind the scenes picture, well, we can kind of talk about them for a second, but this first one of Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Will looking at the camera is a perfect, you got the whole squad laughing picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're here to talk about the new episode titles and, speculate into our whole thing that we usually do. So right now, there's 8 episodes of season 5. We already knew that, but, we have the 8 titles for all 8.
But I forgot.
Yeah, we already knew that, but Jonathan forgot. The titles are The Crawl. I want to say they first released that episode title in 2022, so we've kind of just been sitting on this title for 2 years now. The Vanishing of Redacted, which we'll get into that, who this could possibly be, because I'm pretty sure that the answer is kind of clear based on something that I'll bring up, but me and you haven't really talked about that. Episode 3, The Turnbow Trap, Sorcerer, Shock Jock, Escape from Kamazotz, very interesting, The Bridge, and the final episode title, the final chapter of Stranger Things, The Right Side Up. So, right? Well, time for me to read off my notes for an hour. So, before I do that, do you have any idea what any of these episode titles could mean?
Should I go off?
Should you go off?
Should I go off on a spiel that's probably 100,000% wrong?
I don't see why not.
That has no rhyme or reason or any thought put into it whatsoever.
Sure.
Comes off the top of my head.
Yeah. What's The Crawl about?
Okay, so The Crawl.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. They might be crawling. For one reason or another.
Okay, go on. I'm with you so far.
We did talk about this a while ago, I think. It
was a very long time ago.
I don't see how they can go back to like
any kind of normal
going to school and doing any of that business with the whole entire city just being like collapsed in on itself and stuff.
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention is that this kind of just like I kind of overlooked it because I was just my mind was on all the titles, but it says like in the fall of 1987. So there's a friggin' pretty large. We already knew there was going to be a time jump, but it's confirmed now that the time jump is going to be to fall of 1987, and that's a long friggin' time for like the Upside Down to just be open and Vecna to just be roaming.
We'll worry about it like a couple of years.
we'll give it a year. Okay,
it might figure itself out if we just
who knows,
leave it for a little while. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I'm reading this Forbes article right now, and they're like referencing
I don't know, man.
A Dungeons and Dragons dungeon crawl.
Yeah, we mentioned that like 2 years ago.
It's like we already figured this out, Forbes. You're not
ahead of the curve.
But episode 2, The Vanishing of Blank, based on actually funnily enough, this Forbes article.
So guys, so I just want to
listen.
Wait. I just want to explain the situation. Is that I wrote down like a bunch of things on what I think each episode could be, and Jonathan is using a Forbes article.
I think our loyal subscribers
know they know how it goes.
Yeah. So they have this picture which I don't think I've ever seen of this.
Yes, I was going to bring this up.
Real estate family business.
Yeah.
And just by seeing this picture, that leads me to think that the vanishing of blank or whatever could be, I don't know. I don't really know who the Turnbow family, I guess, is or whatever. Could be like one of them just going missing for whatever reason to just, not just redo Will again, I guess. I don't
You just say Noah Schnapp is again this season is in the like first and last episode.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
imagine. We just need to like let Noah chill out.
But yeah, there's actually but anyways, I'll get into like my ideas for the vanishing.
You'll get into what's really gonna happen.
After
I set the stage.
Set the stage.
Episode 3, The Turnbow Trap. Given it's a real estate business, that kind of just insinuates bad realtors, bad real estate people. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they trap you.
People into buying houses, give them terrible loans.
Just imagine season 5's about nothing. Like this is the plot.
This is the plot. Sorcerer, no idea what that means. Episode 5,
Sorcerer
shock.
pass. It could be about Will, it could be about Vecna, it could even be about 11. Like, it's so vague.
Sorcerer,
No
I don't know.
idea at this point in
Shock
time.
jock.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
this one's like a Dig Dug level thing where like it could be about anything.
Hear me out.
I have an idea though.
Steve is a jock.
I thought you were just gonna say Steve. Hear me out, Steve.
Hear me out, Steve.
Mind blown.
My best bet would be, I don't know, Steve's a jock, right? Or at least he used to be.
Yeah, he's a jock type.
It's probably referring to him. What is he gonna do?
Well, wait till 2025.
No, wait, I had a genius idea just now. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've seen the like pictures of them at a radio station or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. This is sort of along the lines of where I'm going.
Hear me out. I guarantee you they're gonna be in the radio station for whatever reason. Because they're gonna get there after the sorcerer episode somehow. I don't know.
They're gonna get there after they deal with the sorcerer. Right? Yeah.
They're gonna need to fix the electrical circuits and breakers and everything in the station.
Yeah.
They're gonna be trying to figure it out, and somehow Steve is gonna perfectly get everything right and connect the wires and do all the movie magic where he like puts the blue wires together or whatever, and then all the lights are gonna turn on, and Dustin's gonna be like, "Yo, shock jock," or something,
and then the episode title rolls.
Escape from Camazotz. So I looked it up. According to Google, Camazotz was a spirit of death, night, and sacrifice. He supposedly fed on blood, and legend says he even played a role in the origin of the sacrificial ritual the Maya were known for. So basically, it's like a legend thing. Does that mean we're gonna get like another thing? Big bad?
Demogorgon, Vecna, Mind Flayer, Camazotz.
First it was the Demogorgon. Then it was
the Demodogs.
The Demodogs. Then it was
the Mind Flayer. Yeah.
Then it was Billy as the Mind Flayer, and then it was Vecna, and then
now it's Camazotz.
Now we got this guy Camazotz, which what is that, like a fifth big bad evil guy?
Yeah,
or whatever.
The Dever brothers were like, oh, we don't want to do Vecna anymore.
Like, let's do another one.
One more. Let's bring us home.
It's some blood sucking bat guy legend thing. So maybe there's like a flying humanoid. Maybe Vecna gets wings. I don't know.
But I said in the last one, maybe Vecna gets a spear. so Vecna with a spear and wings.
With the spear and wings, that could be possible.
Maybe.
But when I first read the title, I was like, I feel like it sounds like they're escaping from a place, not an antagonist, if you will. But my first thought was, oh, it's going to be them escaping from like some villain hideout type thing. But why would they be there in the first place, They're at the radio station because Steve's shock jock. I don't know.
Because Steve's the shock. Really, just gotta tie that in. Steve is shock jock.
It's gonna happen. I'm just.
It's gonna happen.
So when it happens, give me $1 million. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give you $20 if that happens.
Okay.
Yeah, legit. No, everybody watching this, be sure to remind me when season 5's out. If Steve is in fact the shock jock and Dustin, this one's sort of give or take because your main idea is that Steve is shock jock. If Dustin says shock jock and it's like, haha, then I'll give you $25.
But yeah, it seems more likely that I guess they're just escaping from the newest big bad evil guy, or just Vecna with wings and a spear.
Yeah, so it's so funny how drastically different this is from everything I've written down, because I'm holding off. I'm not gonna. Well, my idea. I'm just like, yeah, totally against what I'm saying.
Similarities in there. I know. I'm sure of it.
Of course.
Then we get to the bridge. Maybe the bridge is like the giant hole in the center of Hawkins. Maybe that's what they call it or something. Or maybe it's just a general reference to the bridge between the right side up and the upside down.
Yeah, bridge between worlds is probably what I feel like is the most likely.
The right side up, that's kind of self-explanatory. It's
I do
just
like the detail though, like
normal world.
the season 1 finale is the upside down and this is the right side up. But
Uh-huh.
like this is also interesting because like it's I like the title, but like I have no idea if it's called this and that's a good thing that it's called this or a bad thing story wise. If it should be like a oh yeah or like a oh no, you know, like I don't know if it's harrowing or
Yeah.
not.
It's like one of two things can happen. Everything goes back to normal and it's just the right side up, or the upside down becomes the right side up and well, they were kind of
Well,
just cooked, I
that's
guess.
just what the whole season builds to. It's just like they failed. The Duffer
They
Brothers is
failed.
like,
That
did you
would be
really
crazy. That
think
would be a crazy ending.
that
I
would be
can't even lie.
crazy if like the Duffer Brothers were like, did you really think we knew how to fix this?
Did you really think that they were gonna win? But that's about all I really can come up. I mean, I could come up with more, but it'd just be me
Just baseless, like
making baseless claims
yeah.
like,
And
"Oh,
then
this is gonna happen," and then.
so getting into my ideas for the episode titles, the crawl, we already talked about this in previous videos, so if you want to, you know, check those out, then do it. The crawl, I think what would be a very interesting approach, and I don't know, I feel like I read somewhere, I don't know if this is true or if they're still doing this, but I think I read or heard that like the season's gonna pick up with the direct aftermath of season 4 and then do a time skip.
That would make sense.
I feel like the crawl could be the direct aftermath, and I've already kind of envisioned this shot. Imagine, like, tell me that this something along these lines won't happen because this feels like so quintessential Stranger Things, right? It's like chapter 1, the crawl. It's like, you know, they do the zoom into the text, which fades into the episode. It's like, and then like it's them on the hill, and then like they're looking over at Hawkins, like the center of the gates, and then it pushes in on 11, and she's gonna be like, Vecna. Cut to them like we're walking through the woods. Like, what are we gonna do? We gotta find him and we gotta kill him. And then like they like get in the car and they drive. Which by the way, this is another thing. If it picks up with the direct aftermath of season 4, right? Eduardo Franco, who plays Argyle, there was kind of a controversy over this. He's not going to be back for season 5, unfortunately. Well,
Dang.
fortunately, but also unfortunately, because one, I could agree that like his character probably didn't have a place in the story, so like they wouldn't really know what to do with him. But at the same time, they introduced him in season 4, so it would have been kind of cool to have him in season 5. But I think a funny way to like very quickly write him out, and honestly, he could be in the season like for a quick second, like first episode cameo. It would be kind of funny if like him being in the episode is even in the realm of possibility. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but you never know. If like they're walking through the woods, like I said, like shot of 11, Vecna, rough cut to like them walking through the woods, and it's like we got to kill him, and then like Argyle's there, and it's like, oh man, what's going on? It's like he looks over at the hill and sees like what's happening. Then it's like a rough cut to the pizza van like zooming out of Hawkins. like that could be a funny way to write him out of it. I
Yeah.
think that could be funny. I don't know if they'll
Like
do
the
that though.
cartoony, like curvy road that he's just like
He
speeding
is
down.
speeding down. They're all just watching him speed down the road. But yeah, I think that could be a funny way to write him out. Regardless, I think the first episode, like I said, dealing with the immediate aftermath, it's going to be like the characters like scrambling, being like, what happened? Like, how did this happen? Like, this is horrible. They all kind of band together, but like keeping in mind, again, I don't know if you remember where it left off in the last episode of season 4, but like Vecna, there was like a moment where like Nancy shot him out of the
Yeah.
attic, and then like he's on fire and everything, he lands on the ground, they go to the porch, he's not there, they don't know where he is. So I feel like that they're gonna like band together frantically trying to find him, right? So like they want to make an immediate comeback and be like, okay, we have to kill him, but they can't find him, and everything's just utter chaos. And that's kind of just the first episode. or maybe a section. It can either be the whole episode, but at the same time, I don't know how they'd keep that momentum going for it to be a whole like 50-minute, hour-long episode of them just like, oh, we got to find Vecna, we got to do this or that, make a plan. I don't know, but like my idea for this is that they maybe at I expect to see like the immediate aftermath of the season 4 finale, and basically it reaches a point where they can't find Vecna and they don't know what to do, right? Then time skip, right? It's like we don't know what to do. They sort of, that's how they bring in a possibility of like we failed, right? It's like there's nothing we can do. We don't know where Vecna is. We don't know how to fix this. Boom, time skip. Fall of 87. Everything's kind of like normal. Hawkins is like under extreme military surveillance, right? Then everybody's kind of going about their lives as normally as they can. Like the military have the center of Hawkins blocked off. I assume like it would be kind of interesting if like, we get news reports of like another attack from a monster happened in downtown, but everybody, they kind of expect like, oh, we don't know where Vecna is. We can't find him. We haven't been able to find him. And then someone who, it's rumored that, just from leaks into set pictures, that the vanishing of blank is going to be the vanishing of Holly Wheeler, because they recast her, 1, and 2, there have been like pictures on set, and even in the behind the scenes video, there was like clips of her in the house and the lights are blinking, right? Maybe possibly, because also in season 4, I remember, it's been a while, but I remember there was a scene in like, I think the 8th episode, where Nancy is like talking to everybody about the visions that she had, and she was saying that Vecna showed her Mike and Holly and their mom dead or something along those lines. So like Vecna's probably going to be after, the Wheeler family. So like in the event that like this is true, like that's probably going to be like Holly gets taken or something, or somebody, if it's not her, gets taken, and then they're like, wait, Vecna's back, this has to be Vecna, right? So that's sort of like the gang getting back together, being like, this is a sign of Vecna being back, we can get him this time, right? He took my, let's say like Nancy, because like Nancy, I feel like she's gonna have an interesting arc this season, because like she, wasn't able to kill Vecna, so she's totally like, we're totally gonna get a bunch of scenes where she's like super guilty about that, like I didn't kill him because of that, Max is in a coma. I feel like if it's true that it's the vanishing of Holly Wheeler, Holly gets taken, this sparks the gang's interest in killing Vecna again, and they start to put together a plan. The Turnbow trap, I feel like, this is like immediately after Holly and or somebody gets taken. They set up a trap, possibly, referring to that billboard that you saw. I feel like they're going to set up a trap for Vecna in this land development. I think will be kind of cool. I don't know. I literally just assume it's going to be like, okay, we have something he wants. I don't know what that would be, but something he wants, and then 11 just jumps out and screams at him and kills him. Sorcerer,
end of season.
End of season, yeah, 3 episode season. Sorcerer, again, I have no idea. Maybe because like if it's about Will, just seems kind of like the obvious option, because like again, along with the fact like, oh, Will the Wise, they've also mentioned that like Will's gonna have like an importance again in this season. But yeah, Sorcerer, honestly don't know. But Shock Jock, now this is the one. Steve. But I have an idea about this. So obviously it had to do, my first thought was similar to yours about like, okay, they're turning on the power at the radio station. Also, the thing about the radio station that's interesting is that I was under the assumption that it was abandoned, but in many set pictures, like, again, I mean, I guess they could turn on the electricity, but like they have access to a van that looks not horribly worn down, and like the lights are on and everything. So like there's a possibility that this van is up and running, or there's a possibility that this station is up and running. And like I think somebody commented in our last video that maybe Robin and Steve work at the radio station this time around, which could be a funny way to include that, maybe. But I don't know, I kind of just assumed that it was abandoned because like the set looked kind of like decrepit. But regardless, I looked up like what like shock jock and like what it meant. And a shock jock is described as a disc jockey on a talk radio show who expresses opinions in a deliberately offensive or provocative way, usually trying to attract attention. So, my thought for shock jock,
Uh,
imagine if, they
so it's
use the
not Steve.
it could still be Steve. Imagine
Uh,
they use the radio station. I don't know if they have like straight up speakers everywhere, but like they use the radios, right, to try to. The thing is, I don't know why they would do that. I mean, I know why, but I don't know like what the real reason for this is. But like maybe they use the radio station to just broadcast, like they're just like trying to lure Vecna in like really hard, right? They're just like taunting him maybe
that could
or
totally
something.
be it.
And then at the radio station, this factors in that audio of like, you need to run, right? Imagine like they're taunting Vecna or something. The kids are like on the roof of the radio station and they're like, doing their thing. And then it's sort of a similar moment to season 2 where Steve goes out stupidly.
Steve, what are you doing?
Just get ready.
And he's like, trying to like lure again, like he was trying to lure Dart to him at the junkyard. Maybe he does a similar thing where like he walks out in front of the radio station, then like on the roof, like one of the kids like looks out at the horizon and they could see like trees moving or something, and it's like, you need to run, and then like intense scene right there. That's a set piece right there. And then maybe I had a thought because I don't know how this would happen considering like everything that we've seen beforehand. I don't know if this would even make sense, but I thought like maybe something happens and then boom, Steve and or multiple people just vanish, right? And it's like, what? They're gone, right? And that they get taken. If we're having another vanishing of thing, then that means that people are just getting straight up taken again. Will got teleported in the first season, right? So maybe they're bringing back just straight up teleportation kidnapping, right? You never know. But that's factoring into Escape from Camazotz, where maybe they get taken and it's just an entirely new location. Because when I looked up what Camazotz was, like, of course, I saw what you saw and what you described, but I also saw a planet from the book A Wrinkle in Time, right? Which made me think of a set picture that was of, you guessed it, A Wrinkle in Time, the book. So they're obviously tapping into this. So it's described as a dark planet controlled by an evil entity called It that takes over the minds of its inhabitants. Now, we already have the Upside Down and we already have the Right Side Up. The Upside Down, literally, Stranger Things as a show is synonymous with the words upside down. So they're not changing that to Camazotz. We have those two things. And I was like, well, what could it be? Again, like you said, like Escape from Camazotz sounds like they're escaping a place. And also, based on the fact that it's a planet and Wrinkle in Time, the fact that like the description again was like a dark planet controlled by an evil entity made me think of that place in season 4 where like 11 initially sent Vecna. It was like a weird planet where he found the mind flayer and there were just like demogorgons rampant. Maybe maybe that's Camazotz, because it looked like a planet,
It did look different from what the Upside Down looks like.
Yeah, because like how did that, because there was like floating rocks and everything, like how did that become Hawkins, But maybe possibly what Camazotz could be is like that plane of existence, maybe, if that isn't just like the OG Upside Down, maybe that is what that ends up being. Because again, it says controlled by an evil entity, and based on the fact that Vecna found the mind flayer in there, it makes me think like, hey, maybe that's it. Maybe they get taken there, possibly, or maybe the center of the 4 gates goes to Camazotz. Maybe they drive
giant
into
hole at the center of Hawkins. Not
like,
actually the Upside Down. It's
Camazotz. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or like Camazotz is either that exact plane that we're talking about, or just something that they rename that area. Like, oh, it's like Camazotz,
It could be like their
nickname for it.
Yeah.
This is the same deal with the radar thing, which, by the way, if one of the episodes was titled The Radar,
Oh heck
imagine
yeah.
the hype. It's the same deal with the radar thing, which if this is your last video, we got like really hyped about the fact that of the possibility of like Steve's car, which had like a radar dish on it, being a way for them to track Vecna or like Demogorgons or something. It's a similar deal to that with Camazotz, where like I'm imagining like, okay, it could be an entirely new area. It could be that plane of like upside downness. Cause like that would make sense if they somehow end up there, because like really they would know how to escape the upside down. Like they've done it before. They know where gates are. They know that they can jump through a gate. They've never been to Jupiter before. Like, like they wouldn't know how to
Yeah.
escape that, so they'd have to figure out how to do that. I don't know. Again, this is either something that we're like kind of spot on with or just not at all. But yeah, the bridge. So again, these last two are vague as heck. Literally, the bridge, my only note for this is like a bridge from the right side, from the upside down, possibly Camazotz, and the right side up is getting stronger. So like they have to like freaking kill Vecna now. And then, I don't know what else that could be about. And then lastly, the right side up, similar to you, I have literally no idea what this could be about, really, because it's super vague and I don't know what that could really mean. I feel like that has to be a sort of like season 1, episode 8 was titled The Upside Down because they went into the upside down. So like I feel like it could possibly be like titled The Right Side Up, because to be like a kind of like a hint at victory, like the right side up's the right side up again. There's no upside down anymore, they won. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's probably more to be said, but based on these titles, like these are just our first thoughts on what these all could mean. This is either in the future when season 5 is out. In retrospect, this video is probably going to be a whole lot of nonsense or a whole lot of accuracy.
One of two things:
say
complete and utter nonsense, or precise accuracy down to the minutest details.
Yeah, every single okay, here's one. Will is gonna wear a blue shirt in episode 4. There we go.
I would go so far as to say Will wear a blue shirt in every episode.
Everyone?
Yep.
Okay.
At one
It'll
point
happen.
or another.
It will happen.
It'll be a different shirt, but
it'll be blue. it will be blue. Stranger Things 5, it will be blue. Yeah, guys, let us know what you think, because your ideas are probably better than ours. That's it. It's like, what, 3 a.m.?
Yeah, it's basically 3 a.m. Let us know if you agree with anything we said.
Or are we just crazy? Do you think that Steve is the shock jock or not?
He might be.
That's it.
That's
where we ended. That's where we ended. You might be cut.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yes, yeah.
And Dustin's gonna be like, "Yo, shock jock."